He looked at it for about 5 minutes, and then he showed it to his friend who was sitting next to him, and to ask her what she thought the face looked like. And so the friend took a look at that image and face, and she jumped up from her seat and she said, "Jesus!" And then he showed it to the rest of everybody else in that daycare home, and everybody all agreed that it was indeed the image and face of Jesus and that half-eaten charred tortilla. And then the local news media took hold of this very soon, and the news spread around the world. Ever since that point, he tucked away this half-eaten tortilla, wrapped in a foil in refrigerator of that daycare home, so he can preserve it as long as possible. And ever since that point onward, the people around the world came to that daycare home and paid homage to that daycare home, and also view that face of Jesus on that half-eaten tortilla. Have you heard that news? Yeah, some of you did already, a few years ago. I'm not making this up, folks. It's a few years ago. And I can show you a photo of that actually later on if you are curious about that. So anyway, it's incredible that to see the face of Jesus manifest through tortilla, right? You gotta have some sort of sense of imagination to actually, and also courage to admit that seeing a face of Jesus, the Son of God, on a half-eaten tortilla. It's such an epiphany moment of a kind of odd kind, for sure. Now, today is the first Sunday of 2019, and it's the Epiphany Sunday, and also the beginning of the Epiphany season, and which is appearance we celebrate in Western Christian calendar. We celebrate this Epiphany season with appearance and divine manifestation of the flesh of Jesus Christ through the Word, beginning with a biblical Magi in today's text, and then next week we'll be covering a little bit about baptism of Jesus Christ, and heaven opened, and there was a voice from heaven and declared that this is my beloved Son. And then week after we'll be also covering the first miracle that Jesus is turning water to wine through that miracle. And then this year our Transfiguration Sunday will be the first Sunday of March, which means our Easter will be a bit later this year. That's ending with the Transfiguration Sunday when his divinity was fully transfigured on that mountain. Epiphany season. Now, the term Epiphany comes from Greek origin. It comes from Greek origin, and it's very simply, it's what it is. It's appearance, striking divine manifestation to humanity. When God becomes closer and clear to us in biblical sense, it's when you have an epiphany moment. It's that when you have this sudden awareness, an awakening of divine presence. And then God becomes much more closer and clear to you than ever before, and it changes you. And that's what happened to Magi. Magi they encountered the Epiphany event of the first kind. A Star of Bethlehem led them all the way from Persian kingdom into the land of Israel, even to Jerusalem, to King Herod, but eventually led them to a small town of Bethlehem, to an ordinary house, to an ordinary couple with a child. And there they encountered the Messiah, Jesus, the Messiah, the Savior, the Son of God. There they had an epiphany moment where they encountered divine person in full flesh, in that small little baby, and to him they paid their homage, and they bowed down, they worshiped, they offered their lives, and they're offering their gifts, and transformed through that encounter. They went back to their home, and led by his Star of Bethlehem. The epiphany moment of the first kind. And throughout the history, as you know, they were not the only ones who encountered Epiphany moment, but there were throughout the life and ministry of Jesus Christ, there were his disciples and many followers have encountered Jesus, and when they embraced and they received Jesus into their lives, and their lives have been changed, and their direction have been changed. And throughout the history, there are many people, followers of Jesus, who had an encounter, this epiphany moment, and changed their lives forever, and through many other people even now. Of course, there are always some random and odd kinds of epiphany moments, like Ernest Garza, seeing a vision of image of Jesus on the half-eaten charred tortilla. That's not where we want to go. That's not what the Bible says about epiphany moments in biblical sense. That's for the other person, for another sermon, someplace, not here. When we say epiphany moments, when we encounter that epiphany events, is that when we have a sudden awareness and awakening moments of God's divine presence, when God becomes closer and clearer to you than ever before, and He changes you. It changes your focus and your destination, your direction in your life, and you are filled. You begin to fill with such a compelling and clear purpose and meaning in your life that it lifts you up from a mere mortal day-to-day existence to a higher and loftier existence. And then your whole life is filled with this sense that your life is not just a series of survivor and a series of successes and failure, but your life becomes one of significance. That your life journey becomes a part of God's work of salvation, God's work of redeeming work of whole creation for whole people. That your whole life story, that you begin to aware your whole life story, what you do, you exist, the whole life story becomes part of God's grand narrative of God's love in Jesus Christ for us and for all entire creation. That your whole life becomes one part of God's grand purpose for all being. Epiphany moment in the biblical sense. Magi had that experience, and also many followers of Jesus Christ throughout the history had that moment where their lives had been changed, and their focus and direction in their life had been changed. And many of us, many people who follow Jesus Christ, as they were led by the Star of Bethlehem, their lives had been changed inside and out. The epiphany moments. I've had, throughout my life, I had a few epiphany moments, smaller here and there, but also there are two significant epiphany moments where I have a sudden awareness and awakening of divine presence. When God became really close and clear to me, and changed my focus and my destination and my purpose in life for forever, in that sense. One that happened quite recently, actually 24 years ago, not as recent, but 24 years ago, 1995, I was taking a class. I was in the program, was program teach, not the theology of pastoral care program I was taking in Waterloo University, and I think the class was on self-consciousness, and the professor was speaking about self-consciousness. I don't remember anything that she had said. I don't even remember any context what she was about, but there was only one sentence I remember and two words that just really stayed with me and changed me forever. She said in the middle of class, and it was not even an important sentence at all. She just, passing, she said, unless you really know that you are a child of God, you will forever feel like an orphan. And that one sentence, with the two words, just really struck me like a lightning bolt and really jolted my soul and just awakened my spirit than ever before. That child of God. Now, I knew I was a child of God all along, but never before that truth been so transparent, so compelling, so clear at that point onward. And it changed me, it awakened something within me. And it was kind of pivotal point in my life because I was discerning from whether to continue in my ministry or to go into professional counseling, and I was studying to be a professional counseling. And that whole event has really catapulted me to a deeper place and plane of purpose and meaning in my life, and I continue. I refocused my energy, my time, and my life into ministry, and I have never looked back since then. Very clear call at that point. Of course, my initial call in ministry happened some time earlier when I was 14 years old, and I'll speak more about that later, when I had a clear awareness of God's call into ministry. It's almost like when you have this epiphany moments, it's almost like, even whether it's a big or small, you're almost like walking in a heavy fog, and then you're stepping out of heavy fog into a clarity. And you have this sense of clarity about who you are and where you are going, and your purpose and meaning in life. Carl Jung, quite well known and master psychotherapist and psychiatrist and psychoanalysis, one of two masters of psychoanalysis in the 20th century, with Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, who had impacted human behavior, human personality, and consciousness throughout the 20th century. He, at the later age of his time, and there was an interview on TV, a television interview came and asked him about, they said, when was the first time you felt that you were aware of your self-consciousness? When you first felt the consciousness of yourself. And he said, very clear, he says, when I was 11 years old, he said, I was 11 years old, and as if I was walking in a heavy mist, and then stepping out of that heavy fog into clarity. And then he realized, I am what I am. That's what he said, I am what I am. And he said, it just very clearly said, as if I'm stepping out of this heavy fog into clarity. And he said, and he began to actually differentiate himself from other people. He began to have this self-awareness at 11 years old. And first thing he said, about that time, he said, I began to aware that I'm different than my father. He said, I began to see his fallibilities, his judgment. He can make mistakes. He began to aware of that. Some of you probably know that Carl Jung has been a Christian throughout all of his life. He's come from a deeply Christian background. Some of his ancestors were pastors as well. So he's been deeply engaged and raised in Christian background. He always believed God. And when he was younger, he believed in God. And later in his life, when an interviewer asked him, do you still believe in God? And he said, I don't need to believe God. He said, I know. I know. It's like his whole experience, like this epiphany moments of events of when you feel like you were almost in a walk, this kind of mist, and then all of a sudden you go into the clarity. You probably all had that experience in the past, right? Literally, when you're driving from when you're driving from Kelowna, from here, there's hope as you come down, there's a heavy fog, and then you are just densely fog, and you just don't know where you are, and then all of a sudden, as you hit the bottom, and the hope around that area, you see you are in a clearing. And that usually happens to when we encounter epiphany moments in our lives. It would be great to actually hear some of your stories, your own experience of epiphany moments when God became closer and clearer to you than ever before. And then you have this awareness and awakening that it changes you in some ways. And it changes a certain meaning and purpose in your life. It changes your direction. It changes, the clarity is there. Right? It changes you, and then it changes your direction in your life. You probably all had a small and little and even bigger ones in your whole life. It would be great to actually listen to some of your stories. One of our programs that we want to plan for this year is that we want to have a kind of potluck lunch once a month, beginning February, after church service on first Sundays of every month. We'll ask you to bring your potluck and then also bring some of your stories where we can share our food together and share our stories together. Maybe the first time when we have the first Sunday of February is to actually bring your food, but also some of your stories of that Epiphany moments, that experiences that you can share with one another. That would be great, wouldn't it? When we are being led by His star, when we follow His star, we encounter these Epiphany moments when God becomes closer, much closer and clearer than ever before. Clearer than ever before. And our lives being changed through that encounter. We can be a passive participant into that, but also we can be an active participant of that encounter moments. How do you do that? We create certain conditions in our lives to actually to encounter, because God is always ready to provide us the God moment. It's a lot of times when we don't really aware of God's presence. So we can always be active participant. One of the ways we can do, which next Sunday we will share a little more about, that is about spiritual formation classes that we've had last fall, and we will be happening again from week after for 2 classes. And I would really encourage you to be part of that as well. Because through the classes, although some of the classes that we get together is very rudimentary, but it's through that whole process of being led by His star, we encounter small and big moments and God moments, and that changes us. That it helps us to be more clear about who we are and the world around us and people and our relationships. And what God wants for us to do and to be in our own lives, in our own journey. That we become not just everyday, day-to-day mere existence, but we begin to aware that our existence really matters, that we are a significant part of God's purpose for us, for our community, and for our world. So that's my prayer, my blessing, my hope for 2019, that each one of you, and for Knox as well, that we will encounter this God moment, this holy moment. We will experience God closer, clearer than ever before. That we will be able to fill with God's presence. And we will be more closer to union with God. That we'll be able to follow Christ, follow God throughout 2019 and beyond. Closer and clearer than ever before.